Impact the markets on Monday. Michelle Rook is back with a deeper dive in Markets Now.
John Payne joining us with Markets Now. With row crops higher, wheat lower on Monday, and soybeans the price leader. Obviously, we're putting in some late season weather premium. John, above 14 now on November beans. Where do we go?
Well, I think at this point, it's how the yield reflects in the September WASDE report and then what the grain stocks look like at the end of September. So in the case of soybeans, you have a market that is very well priced, not just from a standpoint of what it's worth, but what it's worth to the end user. And the end users are essentially the crushers globally. So you see the crushers globally needing supply. They're going to have to pay up for supply here. Right now, they have good ending prices, meaning the oil and the meal prices that they essentially crush from beans are very, very strong. And so even breaks in price, all that does is incentivize the profit margins to do that. And so now we're on the opposite side with the problem in weather. You have the need to ration some of that demand, and that's going to come from two places. It's going to come from beans rallying or the oil and the meal selling off. And obviously, a weather problem is going to bring that latter. So I think 14 and a half will probably provide some technical resistance. There's a high there. If you look at the chart, you're going to see it right away. But at this point, the delivery for September will be keenly watched to see who wants to step in and get the last of the old crop supply and at what price. And I think we'll go from there.
And what about corn? Can it continue to follow soybeans and get above the $5 mark?
I think December will trade there. I think the September contract, watch first notice day here. This will be the first notice day of the marketing year. A lot of old crop, new crop merging of supply, and the basis is all over the place. So you have basis strong out west, not as so much here in the Midwest. We've seen it kind of fall in the last couple of weeks. So I think at this point, corn has to get through this choppiness of the delivery period, kind of price itself versus feed grains. But again, like soybean oil and soybean meal, ethanol is doing well, the industry, and feed margins are pretty good. So I think you're going to see corn come in, and find a low here very short term. Then I think these puts in some premium ahead of the reports. How much, how high? That's a tough question to answer. I don't think that there's going to be a whole lot of demand for corn above, say, 520, 530, at least on that front contract.
All right. Thanks for joining us as always, John Payne with Hedge Point Global Markets. And that is Markets Now. We'll have more AgDay coming up.
To find John's newsletter, This Week in Grain and Oilseeds, head over to www.thisweekingrain.com.